Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get started.
Today I am going to show you how to create this 3D stencil, raised stencil design look on a furniture piece. So I have this trifold mirror that came with my house when I moved in. We took it down when we remodeled, and I didn't want to get rid of it because I actually use this thing when I dye my own hair because it helps me to be able to see the back of my head. So selfishly, I did not want to get rid of it. It just needed a little update. You can see it is super filthy because it was sitting inside while we were doing the renovation. So it needs a good cleaning, and then we are going to fix this thing up. First, I'm going to remove all of the hardware, and then I'm going to soak it in some Dawn dish soap with warm water to get these all cleaned up, and that works so well. Next, I gotta clean down this whole base of the mirror as well as the mirrors themselves, and I just use Crud Cutter to do this. That is my favorite method of cleaning furniture when I am getting ready to paint it or upcycle it. Next, I'm taking my palm sander and I'm just giving this a really quick scuff sand, nothing too major. This isn't even real wood, so I didn't want to ruin it using the sander. Then I'm taking some paint. This is just Bayer Latex House Paint, and it is in the color Bit of Sugar. This is the color that I used in my bathroom makeover. If you haven't seen that, I will link it in the cards above and in my description box below, but this is what we used on the walls, and I absolutely loved it. When taping off the mirrors, I just taped right up against I don't even know if the side pieces are wood. The back part is what was not wood. I think it's like pressed board or something. But anyways, then I just take my X-Acto knife to clean up the edge to make sure I have a nice crisp line. And then I painted the mirrors as well. Friends, I am so excited to tell you that today's video is part of a collaboration with my good friend Brandi over at the DIY Struggle. If you've been watching my channel for a little while now, then you've heard me talk about her before. All month long, Brandi has different creators who are a mystery not only to us participating, but also to our viewers, and this is called Makeover May. Each week, a different creator will be doing a different style, and for this week, my style is modern. There will be a playlist down in the description box, so you can check out the two creators that were before me, and stay tuned for next week so you can see who's up next. There will also be a giveaway. I'll get into those details here in a little bit, but let's jump back into it. To paint the screws, I stuck them in this really thick cardboard that I had. We recently bought a new dryer, and this was in the cardboard box. It's really thick, so this was a great idea to stick them down into so I could spray the tops of them with this Rust-Oleum black paint. Next, we are moving on to the fun part and creating the raised stencil. So I have this hexagon stencil that I got from Walmart. It came in a 3-pack. And I'm just taking little bits of painter's tape and taping off the pieces that I do not want to be stenciled on to my mirror. So this part's a little tedious. It certainly uses a lot of tape, but this was well worth it for the design that I was looking for. Once I had that all figured out, I'm taking some joint compound because I have so much of this left over for my bathroom still. I'm going to be doing projects for the next year with this stuff, but I'm not mad about it. And I'm just going to spread this all over the stencil. Now, you do not want to press it in. You just want to kind of slide it right over the top. If you start pressing it down, that's when you're going to get it underneath of that stencil, and it's going to start to look really messy. So once I had it all on there, I'm just going to smooth it all out, and then I'm going to lift up my stencil to reveal that raised design. And how cool does this look? I absolutely love the way this turned out. But I just took a little toothpick and it cleaned up any little areas where that joint compound might have gotten under the stencil a little bit. I didn't want to fuss with it too much because I will be coming back in to clean it up a little bit more here in a little bit. So I just moved around the mirror and I did various sections. I did not cover the whole thing. I just did all of the corners and then a few little spots on the sides. And here's what one of the other corners is looking like. I just love this so much, and I'm going to keep saying that, I know. Once everything dried, I did let this dry at least 24 hours. I might have waited longer just because I didn't have time the next day to come back to it. But I'm just taking some fine sandpaper and I'm gonna start smoothing out all of these little hexagon pieces. So you can see how rough that one spot is, and then I just took the sandpaper and smoothed it out, and it looks so much better. The giveaway for this week is a stencil set, also with some stencil stippling brushes. The rules to enter this will be in my description box below. Make sure you follow those. I will also leave them up here on the screen for you. You have 48 hours to enter, and then the giveaway closes. So make sure you follow the rules. Make sure you get your entries in if you are interested in this stencil giveaway. Once the winner is chosen, they will be announced in both of our community tabs, so make sure you keep a lookout for that if you are interested in participating in this giveaway. Now let's finish up this project. Next, I moved inside to do all of the detail work, and I'm taking this mineral Waverly chalk paint and I am giving one coat to all of the little hexagon pieces. And then while this paint is still wet, I'm going to take the color Fawn, and I'm going to take the color, or the Antique Waverly Wax, and I'm going to start brushing it over top of that mineral color. I want this to have a blended effect, and I wanted it to match my bathroom colors, and I really wanted it to match the vanity, which was like a light oak color, and I really couldn't find anything in my stash or even at the store that matched this, so I figured I would come up with something and make it my own, or make it myself. So after I laid down all of my colors, I took a dry brush and then just blended everything together. And I just kept repeating those steps back and forth with the Fawn, the mineral, the Waverly Wax, and blending it all together until I was happy with the look. And the last thing I did was brushed over top of it with some ivory paint to lighten it up just a smidge. So I was going to stop there, but then I thought it would be really cool for the inside of this mirror to have another color. So I decided to paint it black to match all of the fixtures in my bathroom. And I'm using the Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover, I think it's just semi-gloss black, and I gave this 3 coats. I did want to seal everything in since it will be in my bathroom, so using this polyacrylic, I gave everything one really good coat, and I like to use a synthetic brush when putting on polyacrylic. I used to use a foam brush, but the little pieces would just get everywhere, and I've found using a synthetic brush works a lot better. So you just want to put on really thin layers here. And then once that was dry, it was time to put everything back together. Here's a look at the mirror in my bathroom before we ended up remodeling it. It is just a little bit plain. And then here it is after. And really, it's not too dramatic of a difference. I am wondering if I should have painted the mirror a different color rather than the white. Hello. But I do still think it looks perfect in this space with everything else we have going on. And those hexagon stencil, raised stencil parts go perfectly with the shower detail. Let me know what you guys think. Next up, I'm going to be making this beautiful, simple, modern line art. And I'm taking one of these flat canvases from the Dollar Tree. This is an 11 by 14 inch size. And then I just printed out this line art from my computer. I'm going to tape it down to my canvas so that it doesn't move anywhere. And then taking a hammer and a small nail, I'm just gonna start hammering and punching some holes all along those lines. Every like little bit, I don't even know like what the space is in between the lines, I couldn't tell you. But I do get a little smart here in a second, and I end up grabbing some needle nose pliers to hold that nail with and saved my thumb and my finger from all of that pain. Once I have all of my holes punched through, I took some embroidery floss and a needle, and I started threading it through my piece. So I have the picture there to reference where I need to put everything, because the line or the little holes can look a little blurred together. But to start out, you want to just make a normal stitch, and then for the second one and then all of the other ones, my string kept getting twisted on me. It was pretty annoying. But then you want to start going backwards. So if you see here, I went to the next hole and then I brought the needle back through the end of that first stitch that we made. So I'm going to show you here again. I'm going to go to that next hole and then put it down through the last one where we just added, so that it's one seamless line and there is no space in between. This canvas was a little difficult to do. Oh, once I get to the end of each line, you don't have to do this. You could just continue going on to your next line, but I wanted to, I don't know, finish each line, I guess, and knot it. So I just added a basic sewing knot to the end of each line. But like I said, that's not necessary. You could have just hopped on over to the next line and started going again. But I wish I would have either made the holes a little bit bigger, or I was able to use a smaller needle. Unfortunately, the embroidery floss would not fit through a smaller needle, so I had to use a bigger one, and then the holes were a little too tight for it, and it kind of hurt my fingers a good bit. But here's a look at how it turned out. I absolutely love it. And then I'm just going to take my Arteza Real Brush paint markers, and this comes with like a water pen. So I'm adding some water to the corner of my canvas, and then I'm going to take a brown paint marker and just start adding on the color, and I want to give this like a faded watercolor effect. So I just went back and forth, adding more color, adding a little bit more of the water to spread it out a little bit and getting that gradient look. And that was it for this one. It was so simple to do, but so modern looking and perfect for what I was going for in my bathroom. And these eucalyptus art pieces on either side of it, I made in a previous video. I will link that below for you in case you are interested. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, guys. I will leave all of the information in my description box below. Head on over to Brandi's channel if you haven't checked out her video yet, and I'll see you in the next one.